Well, Big D back with a Champions League final preview. Before I bring in my Sutton football and guru from the UK, please subscribe, like, and share the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. UFC, golf, baseball, football, you name it. Also, check out the Big D podcast for all the audio listeners on Spotify and Apple. So, joining me to discuss Saturday's Champions League final preview between Inter Milan and Manchester City from Istanbul, Turkey, Charlie Mullan. Charlie, it's Champions League final time. You know what that means?
It means that you invite me on to your excellent podcast, for which I'm very grateful. Thank you for having me on.
You just want a validity so you can show off your Miami Dolphin helmet.
Well, yes, I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic about my Dolphins as the season draws closer. So yeah, I'm sure they'll find a way of letting me down as they always do. But sure, hey ho.
Hey! Do you have tickets to see the Dolphins in Munich this year?
No, I don't. No, I don't think I'll be going to that game. But hopefully, I'll be going to one of the London games. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Well, just think, this year's 2020 Champions League final was supposed to be slated for Istanbul, but we know what happened. 2021, falling back in Istanbul. Do you remember the last Champions League final in Istanbul? It's a crazy final, especially in your neck of the woods, right?
Yes, it was. Liverpool fans were probably leaving the stadium, getting their way to the airport as the second half was starting. Of course, they were 3-0 down at halftime to a very good AC Milan side. But nobody was prepared for what happened in the second half. Liverpool struck twice, 2 goals in quick succession, I think, 5, 6, 7 minutes into the second half, early in the second half anyway. And as soon as the first goal went in, you could just feel that momentum was with Liverpool. As soon as they got the second goal shortly after their first, it was certainly, there could only be one winner here. AC Milan folded, like the Atlanta Falcons did in Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. But Liverpool equalised to take it into extra time. There was no further goals. I think at this stage, AC Milan were just holding on like a boxer, just waiting for the final whistle, the final bell to ring to see how the judges decided the outcome. So, of course, it went to a penalty shootout. And, Jerzy Dudek was the hero for Liverpool. And, of course, AC Milan missed the penalty. Was it Shevchenko?
No, I don't remember who took the first penalty, but if I were an AC Milan fan, seeing that first penalty not even come near the ball, near the goal, would have been like, "Oh, we're done.
Yeah, that's that's criminal. That's criminal. In a penalty shootout, you have to hit the target. There's no excuse for not hitting the target, forcing the goalkeeper to make a save. If you blaze it over the crossbar, which there's been a lot of penalties in recent weeks in English playoff finals which have gone over the crossbar. There's no excuse for that. I've said this to you before on your podcast that if a goalkeeper saves a penalty, it's not termed a missed penalty. It's a penalty that's saved. In my opinion, there's 3 outcomes to a penalty. You score, you miss the target, or the goalkeeper saves it. Give the goalkeepers credit if they make a save in a penalty shootout. So if there is a penalty this weekend, I don't want to hear you say it was a missed penalty when the goalkeeper has saved it. We have to give goalkeepers credit for when they pull off a save from a penalty, because they're not expected to save them, are they?
I've seen Lionel Messi and Cristiano and all them missed penalties.
That is very true. Yeah, it's and David Beckham, he's missed 1 or 2 as well.
So did Harry Kane.
Yes. One of many penalties that he actually wins these days, but that's another matter. So the last Champions League final in Istanbul was something very special, and let's hope that something similar unfolds before our eyes on Saturday evening.
I mean, was it the greatest Champions League final? Maybe more so the craziest Champions League final.
Yeah, I think in recent history, I'm sure there was like, well, I know that there was back in the early days of the competition. Benfica beat Real Madrid 5-3 in a crazy game. There was also Real Madrid 7-3 against Eintracht Frankfurt, I think. But they were in the early stages, the late 1950s, early 1960s, I think. But now, it's interesting that you probably know this anyway, Dylan, but the last three Champions League finals have been won by a single goal, 1-0. So for those of a betting persuasion, that might be a bet to go for.
Yeah, the Bayern Munich over PSG, Chelsea over Man City, and then Real Madrid over Liverpool.
Correct. Correct. It seems like you've got all the Champions League finals there in front of you. Is that correct?
No, I don't. No, I don't. By
All
the way,
right.
one before 2019, Liverpool beat Spurs 2-0.
That's correct. That's correct. Good man.
Well, how
So
about
just while we're on the podcast, you always like a challenge to think about. So here's one for you. Why is the 2002/3 Champions League final? What makes it stand out?
it was in Scotland?
Nope.
Didn't Igor Casillas come off the bench in that game?
Don't think so.
Wait,
But anyway, you can think about that while we have a chat. How do you see the game going on Saturday evening or Saturday daytime for you?
well, to be honest with you, I think it's going to be largely dependent on how Inter's counters, because we know what Inter can do. I mean, Antonio Conte did a great job with Inter Milan. Then he left, became the Spurs head coach, and we know what happened with Spurs this year. It seemed like whatever happened with Chelsea and Spurs just capitulated, and both of them sucked this year. But obviously with Inter, we know Inter's going to play that 3-5-2. I feel like the midfield is going to be key on Saturday, because thinking back to how Inter played against Milan, and I don't mean Inter Milan against Milan, because those derby games could turn any number of ways. But thinking back to how Inter Milan set up for that game, Brea, Mkhitaryan were big in that game. How about Edin Dzeko scoring a big goal against Milan? Edin Dzeko, isn't this like a revenge game for him? He was like Man City 2012, right?
Yes, and you mentioned Mkhitaryan as well. Used to play for Man United, so he'll be up for it. And then of course you've got Romelu Lukaku up front, former Chelsea, Man United as well. So he'll be up for beating Man City and stopping them from winning the treble. Only one team has won the treble in British football, I should say, and that of course is Manchester United. So Mkhitaryan and Lukaku should bear that in mind. If I was them, they could be heroes in Manchester. For stopping Man City doing what Man United did back in 1999. Even though Man United could have stopped the treble last weekend in the FA Cup final, but they weren't good enough. So
don't forget Domian's got Domian used to play with United.
Correct. That's correct. Yes. So there's certainly plenty of subplots to this. If you're comparing the two teams football wise, you can't do that because Man City are far superior to Inter Milan. Now I think we could see Inter Milan revert back to type with regard to Italian clubs. We could see a few of the dark arts on show in Istanbul. I think Milan wear blue and black, and I think they'll be looking to kick Man City and kick them black and blue. No pun intended, but I think that's the only way that Man City can be beaten by Inter. I think they need to be more physical, test the referee. It's Simon Marjanovic, isn't it? Marciniak, that's it. So yeah, I think they're going to test his patience very early on, and we'll see a lot of like, oh, sorry, referee, you know, it was my first tackle, whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of star quality in that Man City side, and even you know, if the first 11 don't do it, then you can bring on Foden and all the other reserves that are waiting there. You know, they would walk into any side in Europe, including Inter Milan. So, yeah, it promises to be a fascinating, you know, matchup between two teams.
Obviously, with Man City, I mean they're going for the treble. Where does this Man City team rank if they win on Saturday night historically? Because obviously United winning the treble '99. Does this City team rank among the best teams potentially ever, not just in England but in Europe?
Are you trying to get me to say that Man City will be the best British side in the history of
I'm
recent?
not saying that. I'm not saying that Man City will ever compare with United, who's won the Champions League, Liverpool, Chelsea, or some of these greats. I'm saying right. I'm just saying would Man City fund because Man City's won everything tongue in cheek the last few years, except for one
Yep.
thing in particular, and
Yep. Well, I'm in the camp with Peter Schmeichel. He's been interviewed quite a lot over here because obviously he was the goalkeeper for Manchester United in 1999. And he makes a very good point. He states quite clearly that they had the FA Cup final on the Saturday and then Champions League final the following Wednesday. So they only had 3 days to prepare for the game that could win them the treble. Now, Manchester City this time will have had a full week from the FA Cup final to the Champions League final. So it's a bit easier, is what I'm saying. So yeah, they'll be up there. They'll be classed as a very good team. Whether they can compare them with Manchester United at this stage, we'll wait and see on that. We'll wait and see. They haven't won yet, so let's not write Inter off just yet.
is this the best? Is this the best Manchester City team we've seen in the Pep Guardiola era?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Certainly, I just mentioned, the reserves that he can call on from the substitutes bench is far better than what he's ever had. A lot of players now are growing in confidence. You look at John Stones, centre half all his career. Now he's playing that sort of hybrid role of defensive midfielder and centre half. And I don't know if you saw the FA Cup final on Saturday. He was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. So he's a world-class player. Harling, what can you say about him that hasn't been said before? Kevin De Bruyne, fantastic player. Jack Grealish took a season to get adapted to playing for Manchester City and everything that Pep demands of him. But now we are seeing why the club paid £100 million for him. Don't know what that equates to in US dollars, but it's a lot of money. And so on and so forth. Well, Rodri, very good midfielder. You got Gundogan,
Okay, Gunnar and scores 2 goals in a cup final. Not bad.
Well, since the start of May, he scored twice in 3 games. Sorry, I should explain that. He scored 2 goals 3 times. So 3 matches, he scored 2 goals, including the FA Cup final. And I've got a theory on that, is the fact that as the season has developed, clubs now are focusing their attention on stopping Haaland, which is why he's only scored 1 goal in his last, I don't know how many games it is, 6, 7, something like that. He's in a bit of a dip. So Haaland is getting double teamed to make sure that he doesn't get those chances that he converts on a regular basis. Now, when you put 2 players on Haaland, that means City are going to have a free player, and that has been Gundogan in the last few weeks. He's sort of been allowed to roam forward, find himself on the edge of the box like he was for the first goal after 13 seconds, a record in the FA Cup final, 12 seconds, I think it was. So that's why he's getting these chances, and that is why he scored 6 goals in the last 3 or 4 weeks. So, I a piece that I've done for bookies.com, I would say that Gundogan would be a good shout for anytime goal scorer in this final.
Oh yeah, and don't forget Bernardo Silva. He only scored 2 goals against Real Madrid in City semi-final win.
Exactly. I forgot Bernardo Silva. That's how rich the Man City squad roster is. Oh yeah, just getting back to your previous question about how good this Manchester City team is. This might be a little flippant of me, but when Manchester United won the treble, the club didn't have 115 financial penalties was hanging over their head. So, there are people in this country who think that Man City have done wrong. But it's up to the Premier League and the Football Association to prove that or not. So, but yeah, it should be a cracking final. I am very much looking forward to it. Like any massive game, Dylan, as you know, the first score is going to be so important. More so for Inter Milan because when they score first, they generally tend to win. That's a good thing. That's a good philosophy for a lot of Italian teams this season. Juventus have won so many games without conceding a goal. So yeah, I think that when all Inter's wins this run to the Champions League have been to 0. So when they win, they don't concede. So if they get the first goal, you can expect a very defensive mind shift on the pitch to defend for your life. But if you do that, you generally step back, allow City onto you, and it's only a matter of time, perhaps, before the dam breaks and City find a way through. Because as we said, there's so many quality players there that they can find that cutting pass to put Haaland in, or De Bruyne has a shot from the edge of the box, or Gundogan has a shot. So yeah, it's a fascinating tactical battle I'm looking forward to seeing unfold.
Yeah, I know when Chelsea played Man City, I knew the key was get the first goal, because if Man City got the first goal, Chelsea wouldn't have a prayer. But of course, Havertz scored right before halftime, and Chelsea played a great counter-attacking game and really didn't give City much.
Yeah, and it's important to know as well that Manchester City have reached the final without losing a game so far in this season's Champions League, whereas Inter have been beaten twice on the way to the final. So, and obviously Man City have scored a lot more goals getting to the final than Inter Milan have. I think it's 31-19. Man City have scored 31 times, Inter 19. I think City have conceded 5 goals and Inter have conceded 8. So if you look at the statistics, Man City should win, but it all comes down to the night, the game itself, and who gets off to the better start, who is more affected by the environment, the atmosphere. It's important to play the game, not the occasion, but that's easier said than done sometimes. So, yeah, it should be good.
Who are some stars and X Factor? Name me a star and an X Factor from each team. Start with Inter.
Oh, right, Inter. Do you know what? I like Martinez up front. I think he could be the dark, the dark horse, if you want. That's the word I was looking for. He's finding a good run of form at the moment, scoring a few goals, and obviously he scored the crucial goal against AC Milan in the semi-final. So I think he would be, he's often hit and miss, but I think he would be the one that I would look for in the Inter team. How long have you got for Manchester City? I'm gonna go Gundogan as the star man, because there is rumours this could be his last game. There's a potential move to Barcelona in the summer. So if this is his last game, and the way he's been playing recently, there's a very good chance that he will have a big impact on this game.
Yeah, and then an X Factor. How about Dumfries for Inter Milan? Because that 3-5-2, if the wingers can keep City narrow and really and eliminate the width of the pitch, because if they make City go through the middle, then Inter Milan might have a chance of limiting what City can do. And then for City, talk about all these goals, but I think Ruben Diaz could be key in this game because if Inter plays with Martinez and some form of Checo, Lukaku up front, I think Diaz is going to be big. The City defenders were terrific against Madrid. Really didn't give Benzema anything. I mean it looked like Man City was playing it against boys that second
Yeah,
leg.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, we saw did you say Dumfries or
Dumfries.
yeah, yeah. No, we saw him playing for Holland in the World Cup, and
Don't
he,
remind me. He still annoys me based on
yeah, of course, of
against
course.
him.
I didn't mean to bring that up. But how many times did we say? He's like Christensen at Chelsea. He's in the opposition box more often than his own when he's defending. He loves to get forward, and he's very effective when he does get forward. So yeah, no, I think Dumfries will be he will have a big part to play for Inter if they are to win this final on Saturday.
Um, Guy who's played in a few Champions League finals is going to be coming to the U.S. I'm not sure you heard the news about Lionel Messi coming to Miami.
Yes, yes, I did. It's great for the MLS. Um, I'm happier that he's gone there rather than Saudi Arabia, like Benzema
And
and Cristiano
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo as well. So yeah, I think having Messi in the MLS will take the popularity of the sport in America to another level. So now that is a good move. Will you be able to go and see him? Is it far away for you?
It's not that far, but I just wonder how it's going to be for Messi career-wise, because obviously Copa America is coming to the U.S. next summer, and then the World Cup 2 summers after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's all panning out nicely for him that he doesn't have to leave, travel very far. Obviously, as you said, two major tournaments that he will have his eye on. So yeah, I don't know how long he will continue playing for Argentina, but we shall wait and see. But yeah, he's a fantastic player, and the debate can go on about who's better, Messi or Ronaldo. Um, it's a hard one to call. On football wise ability, I'm not taking the antics off the pitch or anything like that. I think Ronaldo probably has the um, better skills, all round skills. He's great on his left foot, great on his right foot, great in the air. Messi is great taking defenders on. He's also great at free kicks, as is Ronaldo. Well, he was. He's kind of not being as good at free kicks in recent years. So yeah, I mean, if you had one of them, you'd be very happy. But the sideshow with Ronaldo puts a lot of people off, and he forced his way out of Man United because he's not a good teammate. So yeah, it's great for the MLS. As I said, there'll be a lot of people in Europe focusing now on the MLS when perhaps they wouldn't have because Messi is there now. So it's great, and I think we need a strong MLS. We need a strong team from the United States to be featuring in the World Cup. I know you did very well in the last World Cup, but that's something to build on. And listen, the young players, the young American players who are playing for Inter Miami, they will learn so much week in, week out, day after day, just training with Lionel Messi. People said, the foreign players have ruined English football. That's rubbish. When Eric Cantona came here, Thierry Henry came here, Gianluca Vialli, people like that. All the English players, young English players coming through who have now sort of gone into broadcasting, they've said they learned so much by training against these best players in the world. So Inter Miami players will love it. They will learn so much, and just having Messi on the pitch, he will draw defenders to them. Like I said before, with Haaland, if two players double up on Haaland, that means Man City will have a spare man. 2 or 3 players will have to stop Messi, which means 2 or 3, Miami players will be free to collect the pass from Messi and continue the attack. And, they should improve on their league position at the moment with Messi and the team, but it won't be until July, August. Is that right?
Perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's July. That's going to be.
Seeing Messi in Miami is crazy because that is basically a foreign country over there. I mean, there were going to be so many Argentine fans there. We saw the popularity of Argentina, 2016 Copa, and the last World Cup in Qatar. It is going to be bonkers when Messi plays.
It is, yeah. Like I said, I think there'll be more interest in that league than there will be in the Saudi Arabia league, just because Ronaldo and Benzema are there. So, yeah, good luck to Messi, and I think he'll do very well.
All right, Charlie. You know I'm the trivia savant. Everybody tries to fool me with trivia, and most fail. So, what do you have for me, Champions League final wise?
Okay, the 2002/3 season it stands out for what reason?
Wait, the 02-03 season?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the first? Oh, wait, that was the first all-Italian final at the Old Trafford, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it was the first all-Italian, but it was between 2 Italian teams. Yep.
Only 0-0 final in Champions League history.
Well, first one in 32 years it was. Yeah. So
not a great game.
Not a great game, no, and hopefully I haven't jinxed this weekend's final by saying that. But yeah, it's not a very common score, 0-0. So hopefully we see some goals. I think we will see some goals. I think Man City are just too good an attacking team for them not to score. But defensively, Inter are very good. And, as all Italian teams are, when competitions and tournaments get serious, they sort of come to the fore defensively. And when they do qualify for major tournaments, I should say, because Italy have not qualified for some in recent times. But they find a way of getting the job done and winning the game one way or another. So their defense is going to have to be very, very tight. So we might not see Dumfries going down the line as often as we would, because he's going to leave a massive gap at the back, and there's no better team at cutting a team open than Manchester City with all the attacking skills that they have. So, yeah.
What else do you have trivia wise?
Oof. This is the 5th final between an English team and an Italian team. What is the series score?
I believe it is 2-2.
Very good. Very good. Correct.
And first one not to have Liverpool in it.
Well, Liverpool have featured in 3. Sorry, Liverpool have featured in all 4 of them.
Because I think Liverpool played Rome in 84, Juve in 85, then Milan in 05 and 7.
Correct. Yep. Right. Let me see what else. See what else I can find for you. Have you got one for me?
No, I don't.
Not to worry.
I do have one, but who missed the penalty but then scored on the rebound for Liverpool in the 05 Champions League final?
Oh, blimey. No. You got me on that one.
Xabi Alonso?
Yeah. See, when Liverpool win tournaments, I tend to forget them very easily.
Because he went to Real Madrid.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember many Liverpool games where Steven Gerrard didn't take penalties, but Xabi Alonso was the penalty taker for Liverpool.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that is strange, but yeah, Steven Gerrard had a very good record. Okay, here's one for you. Which team that hasn't won the Champions League has lost the most finals?
Uh, is this all European Cup or just strictly Champions League?
Oh no, European Cup and Champions League.
Hmm. Is it from one of the major leagues in Europe?
Yes.
Hmm. PSG?
No. Oh, I think I've got you here.
Wait. Could you name me one player? Doesn't have to be a current player who played there.
Um, that would give it away. That would give it away.
Hmm. It wouldn't be. Where did they finish this year in the league?
Very high. Top three.
Hmm. 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 Atletico Madrid?
Correct. Correct.
Wait. 14 and 16, right?
Mm-hmm. And 1974.
That was to Bayern Munich, right?
That's correct. Yes.
That would be Gerd Muller. At least I think so. Gerd Muller.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Let's have a look. Um, yeah, he scored twice in the final.
I don't believe anybody scored a hat trick in the final either.
Is that right?
I don't believe so. They've been Champions League hat tricks, but not the final.
Um, Puskas did for Real Madrid, but that was when it was the European Cup in that 7-3 game against Eintracht Frankfurt. He scored four times actually, and Di Stefano he scored a hat trick. So there's two hat tricks in one game. Uh,
How do you score 3 goals in one game and not win?
oh yeah, no, that was the one they won 7-3. But Puskas also scored a hat trick when they lost 5-3 to Benfica. Yeah, yeah,
Kylian
yeah.
Mbappe's got somebody for company, right?
Who?
Kylian Mbappe's got somebody for
Yes,
hat tricks
yes,
on losing teams.
correct, correct. This sounds like a crazy game. Real Madrid were 2-0 up, then it was 2-1, and then 2-2, and then Real Madrid went 3-2 up and lost 5-3.
Wow. All right,
Yeah.
Charlie. So, ultimately, who will be this year's European champs? Will Man City win the treble, or will Inter Milan become the first Italian side to lift the Champions League trophy since guess who did it in 2010?
Yeah. Um, I hate to say it, but I hope that by saying that Man City will win the treble, that I jinx them and they don't win it. But I just think that they're too good a team. There's no way that Inter can match them in terms of footballing ability. So if they take the right attitude to stop Man City, then that's possible. But I just don't see Man City losing this game. I'm gonna go for 2-0 Man City.
I'll take City winning 3-1. I think City's too good. I mean, I know that Inter Milan midfield's really strong, but Man City's on a different level than AC Milan. Heck, AC Milan just sacked Paolo Maldini.
Yes, yeah. The statement that they released was an absolute disgrace. Two lines, saying that one of the legends of the club, one of the best players ever, has left his role. I mean, yeah, not a very good way to say goodbye to a player like that, unless there's more to it than we don't know.
All right, hopefully this year's Champions League final is just as crazy as the last one in Istanbul, right?
Absolutely. Fingers crossed.